Hi, my name is Tony Kovatch, and I'm the artist in residence here at Liberty Bellows in Philadelphia. I want to welcome you back to our series of instructional videos for the piano accordion. Our goal for today is to continue to explore G major, as well as add harmony into our right hand melodies. But first, I'll warm up to help us with chord inversions in the key of G major. First, let's review our G major scale. The first thing we need to do is find the note G. We discussed last time that you find your three accidentals together, and G is going to be the white key in between the first two. So here's a group of three, here is our G, here's a group of three, and here is our G. Remember, the scale starts with a 1, 2, 3, then we shift up to the fourth scale degree, and finish the scale from there. Remember that our fourth finger is going to play F sharp, which is our only accidental in the key of G major. Again, that's going to look like this. Shift. Let's go back down with the same fingering. Let's go up and down. All we have to do is find the first, third, and fifth notes of the scale, and those together are going to make up our G major chord. So here's our G, here's our third note B, and here's our fifth note D. If you put those together, it sounds like this. Remember, we have a special trick that allows us to play a chord anywhere on the keyboard. So no matter where our hand is, we can always find a G chord, and that is chord inversions. Let's start from the bottom of the keyboard. If we can find a G, a B, and a D, that's going to be our inverted G chord. Here's a D, here's a G, and here's a D. We play them together. That's our inverted G chord. Here's a G, here's a B, and a D. There's another chord. Up here we have a B, a D, and a G. And one more. Here's a D, a G, and a B. And here's our G chord. See if you can find all of the G inversions from the bottom to the top. In our last lesson, we discussed that G is called the tonic. The tonic chord is the chord in a key that has the same name as the key itself. So in G major, the tonic chord is a G major chord. Today we're going to talk about another chord that has a special role, and that's called the dominant chord. The dominant chord is the chord that's built off of the fifth scale degree in a key. So let's find which note that is. So we start on G, and let's go up 5 notes. G, A, B, C, D. D is our dominant chord. The notes that make up a D chord are D, F sharp, and A. If you play them together, it sounds like this. We're going to play the lower octave today. Again, that's D, F sharp, and A. The dominant chord is special because it's the second most commonly played chord within a key. It also has a special role. It usually leads us right back to the tonic chord. Check this out. If I play an inverted G chord, D, G, and B, I can very easily move right over to my F sharp and A and make that a D chord. So here's my G inverted chord. Here's my D. G, D. Let's turn this into an exercise. Let's play a G inverted arpeggio, and then switch to a D arpeggio. Let's keep doing that back and forth. So we start with the tonic, dominant, tonic, dominant. Let's add in our left hand, just like this. Let's try it an octave higher. All of this will come in handy during our song of the day, La Cucaracha. first phrase of our song starts by highlighting an inverted G chord. So find your inverted G chord from before. Find your low D, G, and B. To play the second part of the phrase, you're going to shift your hand down slightly so that your ring finger ends up on the G. So the first phrase of the song looks like this. Shift. The second phrase of the song simply highlights a dominant chord, your D. So find your D, F sharp, and A, and that's how the second phrase is going to begin. Next, you're going to want to shift your hand up so that your fourth finger ends up on the high D up here. Did you notice what I did with my index finger there at the end? That's because I ran out of fingers. So I'm going to start with my ring finger on the D, go up, go back down the scale. And here, I need one more finger to get that G. So I'm going to cross my index finger over and play the G. That will look like this. So the entire second phrase will look like this. Shift. Here's the whole melody. Shift down. Shift up. Now check out this simple trick I'm going to use to make the melody sound more interesting. All I did was add a low D to my arpeggios. So anytime I played any note of an arpeggio, I simply added that D into it, like this. And that created harmony. This sounds great because D just so happens to be in both the G chord and the D chord. So I can use that same note to harmonize both the G arpeggio and the D arpeggio. So the whole thing will sound like this. Let's quickly review our tonic and dominant chords on the left-hand side. So G is our tonic, and right above that is D. In fact, you'll notice that pattern in all of our keys. The tonic will always be the chord that is the same name as the key, and the dominant will be the row right above it. This song is pretty simple. Most of the first phrase is harmonized by the G chord in the left hand, and most of the second phrase is harmonized by the D chord. We're going to start on our tonic. To the dominant. To the tonic. Stay tuned for our next lesson in which we learn to play a 3-chord song in G. Thanks for watching.